So why is ankle mobility important for Olympic lifts? Well, first and foremost, it's super important for performance, right? So it allows two things. It's going to allow you to go deeper into the squat. If I have more ankle dorsiflexion range of motion, I can get my butt closer to my heels, right? And if you look at this picture to the left of my buddy Duesh that has amazing ankle dorsiflexion range of motion, he's very, very deep in the squat. On the right is me, who has less ankle dorsiflexion range of motion. And this is as deep as I can go. And what you'll notice is that the barbell is actually a little bit higher for me. All right. So if I'm trying to lift as much weight as humanly possible, I want to be able to squat as deep as I can. Because when I pull the bar up from the floor, right, when I clean or I snatch the bar and I am pulling the bar up and I get to triple extension, I'm getting the bar as high as I can, right? If I can get underneath of that bar more easily, I don't have to pull the bar quite as high. And as that weight gets heavier, 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 you can't pull the bar quite as high. So the victor is going to go to the person who has the ankle mobility to get down there, right? So as you can see, Duesh doesn't have to pull the bar quite as high as I do, right? Because he can get a little bit deeper, right? The other piece is that having great ankle dorsiflexion range of motion is going to make your torso a little bit more upright when you squat, and also when you receive a barbell for a clean and for a snatch. Okay. So again, if you look at Duesh on the left, his torso is more upright than mine is simply because he has that ankle dorsiflexion range of motion. So if I'm catching a clean and I want to keep my elbows upright, it's going to be a little bit easier to stay in a good position if I have the ankle dorsiflexion range of motion. Right. And the same thing goes for the snatch. So when I catch the barbell in a snatch, if I don't have a good position of my torso, it's actually kind of hard to get the barbell over my head and to balance it there. I have to be at extreme range of motion at my shoulders. And I'm probably more likely to pitch that barbell forward because I don't have the strength control of the shoulder at that extreme range of motion. If I get a little more ankle dorsiflexion range of motion, I stay upright. That overhead position for the overhead squat and the snatch becomes a whole heck of a lot easier. Okay. Why else? So having more ankle dorsiflexion range of motion allows you to reduce stress in other areas of the body, right? And I say reduce, this is not always the case, and we'll talk about this a little bit later for the specific cases where it's not necessarily true. But when you're doing, let's say, a snatch or an overhead squat, you need to have a ton of range of motion from a lot of different areas, right? So if you don't have great range of motion coming from the ankle, the knee, the hip, the thoracic spine, and the shoulders, not only is a snatch going to be very, very challenging, not only is a clean going to be very, very challenging, but other joints are going to have to make up for that lack of range of motion that you're missing, let's say, at the ankle, right? So if I have a really stiff ankle joint, it makes sense that I'm going to have to move a little bit more from the hip, the lower back, the shoulder, as well as the wrist.